We started Forest and Main back in 2012. So we just celebrated our 11th birthday back in the spring. We kind of started with a focus on British session beers and Saison and farmhouse beers. We're still kind of known for those two families of beer, but we also make a good bit of IPA and lager beer these days. We're super proud of those too. We're here in Ambler, Pennsylvania, just a short train ride from Philadelphia. At our production brewery space here, we have a tap room that's open Thursday through Sunday. We also have a small tap room on the main drag in Ambler that's open Tuesday through Sunday. It's next to a bunch of restaurants and stuff, so people bring in food, they have some beers. It's got that kind of cozy pub atmosphere there. Once upon a time, we brewed with this equipment in an old Victorian house a couple blocks south of where we're at right now. This is like old refurbished dairy equipment that we connected with a bunch of hoses and pumps on skateboards. And that's what we did for about 10 years before we moved to this current location and got like a shiny new brew house that makes our lives a lot easier. If you follow me, we can come take a look. So that right there is our shiny new big boy brew house. It's a 15 barrel specific mechanical setup. It's got a cool mash kettle where we can do a lot of decoctions and step mashes. So we'll do that for a lot of the lager beers. We do some cool mash schedules for some of the Saison beers. And it just, it makes life a whole lot more consistent and easy on our bodies compared to the old days. So with this bigger production space, we've recently started sending more beer out into the wider world beyond Ambler, PA. So we've recently been sending some beer through Allied distributors down to DC and Virginia area. We're psyched to be pouring at Snallygaster this year for the first time. So here we have the Lady. This is one of our regular canned Saison offerings that we're super proud of. An iteration of this beer has been with us pretty much since the start of Forest and Main. Just kind of a light, like 4.5% Saison. It's brewed with barley and spelt malts. For all of our Saisons, in particular for the Lady, we get all our barley from Deer Creek Malt House. They're in southeast PA. They source all like PA or near PA grown grains. We find that, using local barley just kind of adds to the character and the terroir of the beers. For a beer like Saison, that just feels like that much more important and that much more special to the beer. We hop this beer entirely with Hallertau Hersbrucker, which is, one of our favorite German hops. It goes great in lagers and Kolsch, but really sings in Saisons. You get this cool kind of spicy, floral, anisey note from that. Then this beer is fermented with our forage yeast culture, which is a yeast that in the springtime we culture up off of like blossoms and flowers in the area. We kind of grow up the yeast that's living on them and then kind of keep growing it till it's strong and healthy enough to ferment a batch of beer. So again, that kind of like brings about the natural kind of terroir, the microbial terroir, that really lets this beer, have a sense of place, which we feel is really special. This beer is also re-fermented in the can, so it gets all its carbonation through a second round of fermentation that happens inside the can. We're able to get a pretty high level of carbonation that way, and just kind of adds, another round of like fermentation flavors that you can't really get otherwise. And it's a really pretty beer, and it's one of our favorites. And I hope it's your favorite too.